Welcome back, guys, to another podcast. It's Friday morning. I hope you're having a good Friday so far. I hope you had your coffee in, you meditated, and let's get it. I'm here with my lovely co-host slash wife slash best friend.
Oh, I'm your best friend?
Yeah.
We're back. I think this is the start of something good, guys. We are going to be consistent this time. So today for this podcast, you guys have been requesting for us to go back to our advice podcast. So I think once a month we'll do a little email advice session.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be today because is today the last Friday of the month?
No.
Oh. Are sure?
Babe, it's barely the 18th.
Yeah, and it goes to the 28th.
Yeah, it's 10 days.
Yeah, so...
There's 7 days in the week.
Oh. Okay, anyways, do you have anything you need to say before we get started?
No, guys, I hope you're staying warm, especially shout out to all our people in Texas. I know mucha raza that follow us, that supports us, lives in Texas, and I know what you guys are going through. It feels so shitty that other people are making fun of what you guys are going through. That's horrible. You know, I literally saw pictures of icicles inside houses, and just stay warm, guys. I know I say that, just stay warm, but like, you know, just bundle up, put a lot of layers of clothes on, and you're going to get through this, all right? Texas, you guys, when the shooting happened in El Paso, you guys got together, made you stronger, and now that this is happening, I'm sorry you have a terrible senator. He's a piece of shit, but you guys will get through this. I promise you will.
Yep, I think it's crazy because we have lived in those conditions for our whole life, basically, and I think we forget how dangerous it can be because don't get me wrong, there have been pileups, there have been a lot of car accidents. Every time it snows, there's a car accident on main roads, but I think we forget how truly dangerous it can be, especially to people that aren't equipped, people that aren't used to it. So yeah, our heart goes out to all of you guys in Texas. A couple of my friends, actually, Alejandra, Juani, I have a lot of influencer friends that live over there, and just like seeing their tweets and their Instagram story updates, it just makes me so sad. So we're praying for you guys, and just also keep up with like other influencers, like bigger influencers, because they are sharing a lot of ways of how to stay safe and how to stay warm, and they're sharing warming centers and food, people that are like delivering food and when the HEBs are restocked. So just keep an eye out for that in case you need any of those resources. But yeah, our heart goes out to you guys.
Yeah. Love you, Texas. Anyways, on a more cheerful note, guys, we're gonna, like she said, you guys have been requesting a little bit of advice. I know I'm starting to give a little bit of motivation at the end of these videos, but I think, you know, it's good to be lighthearted, talk about our toxicity, because that's what you guys relate to and you feel like, but it's also good to give advice. I know we're young, somos chamacos, ¿qué vamos a saber? Pero pues nomás estamos aquí para decirles what we've been through and how we can help you guys. All right, so let's get right into. We just got an email, so shout out to her.
Okay, so this one is from...
You can't say her name.
I know, I forgot. Okay, it goes, hey guys, so I am currently in a relationship. I'm 19 years old and my family thinks I'm too young. They say I should live my single life first and get married at an older age, 26 or so, but I feel like I found the love of my life already. I'm stuck between making them happy or staying with someone who makes me happy. Like, it's impossible to do things with someone for many years. They make the married life sound so hard and bad. Okay.
Look, except if you're Tony Lopez or Andrea Lopez, age is just a number, okay? You guys, I feel like everyone, we're not all the same people. If we were all the same people, imagine how boring of a life this would be, of a world this would be. I feel like people mature differently at different rates, especially women. So if you know you got a good one, he's in love, as long as he's in love or more in love than you are with him, then it shouldn't be a problem, okay? Parents, it's funny, I saw this meme the other day. It's like our Mexican parents are like, don't have sex before marriage, don't date until you're in college, yet we're in their wedding pictures. So that's a little funny there. No shade intended, but yeah, so screw what your parents think, as long as it's reasonable, okay? Parents, I know they seem like assholes sometimes, but they have the best intentions for you, okay? So si ellos ven que el muchacho, you know, something's off with them, and then obviously they have the right to say something to bring it, but they do not have the right to, you know, terminate the relationship or just not support you.
Like we always say when we talk about our toxic relationship, like we've already been through it, you know, and your parents have already been through it. And I'm sure, like Jonathan said, yeah, you're in their wedding pictures, but I'm sure because they went through that, they're like, no, you're too young to get married, blah, blah. Like even my mom, she got married at 19, had my brother at 20, and then me at like 26. So she always, her encouragement to me was always like, just wait until you're older to have kids because kids change your life forever. So I feel like your parents are trying to warn you, but I didn't sound like they're trying to like have a breakup with him, right? It just sounded like they're like, you're too young, but
Yeah,
do
they're
whatever
not
you
like,
want.
I don't think they're going out their way, but
Yeah, I
they're
think you
not
should
supporting
just
her.
yeah, you should just keep that in mind also. If you are so in love with this guy, he's the love of your life and you think you have a healthy relationship and a relationship that's going to last a long time, then by all means go for it. I don't think 19 is too young, honestly. I think it's pretty
You're out of
good.
high
It's
school.
pretty better than the people that think they had found the love of their life at 14.
Yeah.
Us.
Us.
But yeah, girl, I think you should just keep that in mind, keep that in your head, but just keep going with your life. Go with the flow, live in the present, don't look too much into the future, and just if you guys are meant to be, then you'll just stay together, you know? Don't force things and don't let this discourage you from your relationship. Just keep going as you normally do, and yeah, the time will tell.
Yeah, babe. Good explanation.
Are you okay?
All right.
It looks like you're on shrooms. You're
No,
so
it's
happy.
because the fat burner is like
Yeah.
kicking in. But yeah, I mean, we went through that email pretty quick, but
Yeah.
you get the gist of it, guys. Lead us in, babe. You got this.
Okay, so since we're on the terms of being too young to be in a relationship, being too young to maybe have found the love of your life, I think that we have to say that being young, I think like high school age, it is hard to really say that you found the love of your life just because I feel like if you really, really think about it, there aren't many high school sweethearts or there aren't many high school sweethearts that had a healthy relationship through high school. Do I explain myself?
Yes, you're right.
I think that a lot of our friends that are still together to this day have gone through their bumps, their mountains, and they're together now. But I feel like there are very little people that can say like, oh, we had a healthy relationship as a youngster, because I think we were so immature. And yes, in that sense, I was a little bit more mature than Jonathan, but I was still immature myself. And I feel like for myself, my relationship was a fairy tale. It was more of a High School Musical. Everything has to be perfect. Everything's perfect. We have to break out in a song right now, and then we have to go to the same college and get married, you know? But for you, what was your relationship like, babe? Like, in your eyes, what was our relationship like?
In my eyes, and this goes to address one of the comments that we had on our last video. Did Jonathan not have a good example at home? Why was he so toxic if it looks like his mom is a very good person and they have a good relationship? Guys, my parents right now, obviously they had their bumps, but right now they have one of the best relationships that we know. We look up to them. We always ask them for advice. So yes, I always had that growing up. So why was I so toxic? It's simple. I was trying to impress the wrong set of people. I was trying to impress other family members, you know, uncles, machista uncles, friends, machista friends. So it goes to show that in my eyes, guys, believe it or not, even though I was being toxic and very harmful towards Julissa, I thought I was in a normal relationship. To me, obviously, like, a mí siempre me dijeron, y que no se te suba la vieja o la morra al cuello, you know, because when she has you by here, you're gone. I would always see how, like, you know, in other past relationships in my family, the women always held the pants. I was like, fuck no, I'm not going to have that for me. Like, Julissa's going to do what I say. And obviously, I'm going to love her, but I'm always going to be the top dog. You know, it's always going to be me and then a little bit below Julissa because she's going to depend on me. So in my eyes, guys, it's not like that evilness, you could call it, came out of nowhere. It's because that's what I thought was a good Mexican relationship, if that made sense.
Yeah, and for me and my eyes, so yes, Jonathan's parents have the healthiest marriage that I could even ever like look up to. But my parents haven't always had a healthy marriage and they still go through their bumps now and then, and I feel like that's why, in a sense, you know how there's like that saying that the girl looks for a guy that's like her dad?
Yeah.
When we were in a toxic relationship. My guy was a replica of
And that's why we get along.
he was a replica of my dad. My dad, machista. He is a very serious, kind of amargado guy.
Doesn't like to go out.
Doesn't like to go out at all. He'd much rather sit on the TV and watch America play every single day of his life, whether it's just games from the past. So I've seen my mom struggle through that. And at the beginning, when we were going through a toxic relationship, it was Jonathan's cup of tea. Like, he was like, at the tengo wrapped around my finger. I was super dependent on him. If he was in a bad mood, my day was shitty. So I feel like at the beginning of the relationship, I stayed also with the toxicity because that's what was implemented in my life, and that's how I saw my parents' marriage work. So I was like, oh, like, that's normal. So in a sense, it was kind of normal to me. But as I kept growing and my mom kept like talking to me and encouraging me and giving me advice, she's like, you don't want to end up in a marriage like mine and your dad's. And then that's when everything clicked for me, and I was like, holy crap, I do not want to in a couple years be as unhappy as they are.
Yeah, that's where we were going. That's where we were going, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jonathan, guys, like, you guys see him now, and honestly, I am in love with him because he has changed so much. You guys see us la peda el sábado. You guys see us going out with our friends just to eat, to dinner. We go and do like fun stuff with our friends, hang out with our friends most weekends. Oh man, this guy would have not done this a couple years ago because he was just like, nah. If he was gonna go out, iba a ir él solo con sus amigos to have a guys' night, not me. He used to drop me off and then go out with his friends. How sad is that?
No, but that's because you
I couldn't
let you.
Yeah.
So but I understand. I should have just gone home, you know.
Yeah. So basically, I think what was I saying?
That toxicity.
Yeah. So Jonathan has changed so much to now. If I put him next to my dad, dude, nothing alike. Like Jonathan.
Now?
Yeah.
Well, we still get along.
You guys obviously, baby, you're always gonna have a good relationship with my dad because since the beginning they've liked each other. But Jonathan isn't like him anymore, which is something big that happened. I think it wasn't even me just begging him, because at the beginning I would beg him and be like, "Can you just change? Be nice. Go out with me." But at the end, when we got back together and our relationship was healthy, he did it by himself. It wasn't me sitting there and begging him, which is how did you feel, babe? Elaborate on that. When I would beg you to change.
I saw that as weakness. I really did. You would ask me to do something, and por mis huevos, I was just like, no, I'm not gonna do that because that makes me, even though no one was in the room, it's not like my uncle was there, you know, if you do that, you're a bitch. And no, like, no one was there, but I was like, I don't know. That's just Mexican toxicity, guys. It's a disease. Like, it really is. Like, and that's why we're so much in debt, because we just buy alcohol, and I'm talking, not us, but Mexicans in general.
We're not in debt, but we do buy a lot of alcohol.
But you know what I mean? Like, oh, dad, let's invest in this. No. Pero para la quinceañera, 15 grand. That's what I mean, guys. Like, Mexican toxicity, male toxicity is a real thing. Like, it's super strong. So that's just my way of thinking. And unfortunately, that's how it is for a lot of guys too.
Yeah. And also at the beginning, Jonathan would have us, we didn't go to the same school, but we would also, I don't know how our dynamic was, but we basically knew everything that we were doing at every minute. Well, you mostly knew everything that I was doing. So he wouldn't let me dress a certain way. Or if I wore shorts to school, he'd be like,
no.
He would be like, babe. He'd be like, who are you dressing up for? You know?
I would be like that, but I wouldn't say, don't wear that. I would get mad, but I never was like, don't wear it.
Well, you couldn't say don't wear that because I was already at school wearing it. Yeah, so you would get mad that I was wearing it. But at some point in that, my dad has been machista his entire life. I don't know how his dynamic with my mom wearing what she wears is, because my mom is a very modest dresser. But with me, my dad never truly told me, no vas a salir así. He would just look at me and, be like, okay, why are you doing that? I don't care. My dad and our relationship was, like, we don't really talk to each other. We don't get in each other's way. But when I did something bad, like, I estaba regañándome, you know, which is a very unhealthy relationship, but it worked for us. So my dad would never tell me, like, no, you're not going to wear that. So at some point, I stood up to Jonathan and I was like, dude, if my dad doesn't tell me what to wear, you are not going to tell me what to wear. Yeah. And I think in that way, I sort of changed my ways and kind of started standing up for myself. But I don't remember, like, when it happened, but sometimes someday it just clicked. And I was like, you no me vas a traer como tu fucking dog, you know? Me traía en una leash. And it wasn't like him forcing me. Like, I loved it.
You were toxic back.
I was toxic back. And it wasn't more that I was toxic back. I fed into his toxicity. You weren't
toxic. You were just weak. But let's dig into that. Why were you weak in the first place? Like, what made you subside to my ego?
I feel like because I wasn't confident. Like, as I said, my dad and I have never had a healthy relationship, so I think that plays into it. Because my dad, it's, you know how, like, you see a lot of these American dads telling their daughters, like, you're beautiful, you're smart, like, I love you. My dad never ever said that, you know, never told me I was beautiful, never told me he loved me, nothing like that. So I feel like in that way I needed a male figure to love me. So since I found that in that So since I found that in you, I was like, whatever it takes, whatever you do, you love me, so I'm gonna stay.
That's deep.
And I was weak. Like, anything he would say, he would do, it would break me. Like, physically, I would get sad and I would not eat or do anything, because that's how much power he had over me. And I feel like, in a sense, Jonathan liked the power that he held over me. So I feel like that's why he was even more toxic. Don't you think?
Yeah, it just happened to align perfectly. It's like that little meme on TikTok that then you got overly toxic male, underconfident female, soulmates, you know?
Toxic relationship.
Yeah, toxic relationship, soulmates. But yeah, guys, that's how much pretty much our beginning was. Like, I was too machista, she was too weak, and then it took us to meet in the middle. Obviously, it took us we were like here, right? Me, her, and then it went like this. And now we're right here.
Yeah. And
but to get to here, like, it was really hard.
Yeah, it was hard on both of our parts, because it was me trying to stand up for him and trying to put boundaries, and it was him trying to erase the toxic thoughts that he had. And he was just so conditioned to be the way he was. It was like his uncle, he looked up to his uncle so much. He wanted to be exactly like him, and he thought that every single girl that he met was gonna be like subiéndose al cuello. So he had his guard up for sure.
Guys, and it wasn't only Julissa, trust me. Girls I talked to before, like when we were broken up, guys, I would treat them like shit. Like, I just got pure joy out of breaking a girl's heart, because I got validation from males. That's the only thing.
Oh man, you're so cool.
It's like, you know, the homies ain't gonna, you know, give me the butt cheeks, but why I'm out there making them happy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it goes to being young and being immature. Like, Jonathan right now has the wisdom that his 15, 16, 17-year-old never had, and so do I. So I feel like our relationship now, you can't compare it to our toxic relationship at all, because we can't even sit here and say, like, no, we've had an argument that bad recently, because our arguments, nothing has ever gotten as bad as it used to. And yeah, like right now, if Jonathan were to yell at me, like, I would be like, did you just raise your voice at me? And back then, if he yelled at me, I would just shut up and quiet down and just be like, okay, you know? Yeah. So I feel like it changed a lot, but you have to kind of keep a mental note that your parents want the best for you. So if you're young, yeah, just admit it, you're young. But you also have to, in a way, be a little mature and realize, like, your parents are telling you what's best for you because they've already been through it. But also, don't stop living your life.
Guys, and acknowledge that you're wrong. Acknowledge it. I know, trust me, I'm an asparagus. For us, it's really hard to acknowledge when we're wrong. So for my parents to be like, oh, like, they told me. I'm not going to go up to them, hug them, and cry, be like, Mom, right, Dad, you're... But in my head, I'm like, fuck, they were right. So next time they say something, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to take it into consideration a little bit.
Yeah. And I think also, okay, so going back to him having a good, like, example in a relationship, his parents also no estaban de acuerdo de cómo me trataba. So his parents have always been on my side.
Yeah, from day one, guys. It was me against the world. Me and my
He
mom
would
are
always look at me and be like, my mom loves you more than she loves me. But I was like, dude, she just doesn't want you yelling at me, crackhead, you know?
Yeah.
So he had that good example, but also like I don't want you guys to think that his parents like backed him up because he was their son. His parents, when I was wrong, his mom would talk to me, and she would never be defending me, just solely defending me. She'd be like trying to get both sides of the story, but still like letting me know, like, if Jonathan ever raises his voice at you, like, just leave, you know? Like
Yeah,
she
guys, my
because she
parents.
knew what she had at home, because Jonathan was a crackhead.
So I feel bad for all the ladies that have a dick of a boyfriend or ex, and then but it comes from their mom being the assholes. I know they have such a no. My parents were never like that, guys. My parents loved her, and I at one point I thought they loved her more than me because I'm like, shouldn't you be on my side? But obviously they didn't. You know, they weren't with me because I was a dick.
Yeah, but I don't know.
But I think because right now everyone's like, but why were you with him? It sounds like hell. But like, and let me reference to what I like on the Valentine's one. It's like a lot of comments were like, oh, he broke up with you before holidays porque era bien codo, blah, blah, blah. I did not let Julissa touch a bill, a tab, open her car door, the gasoline pump for like the good first 2.5, 3 years of a relationship,
yeah,
guys.
I was
Trust me, money was not the issue. I was just an asshole like that.
Yeah, I was like broke, like $200 checks at Dairy Queen, and it would all go to fucking eyelashes, makeup, and hot Cheetos. And Jonathan would never, ever, ever let me pay out of my pocket. Nothing. Like if I ever bought him something, it was from me wanting to buy him something. But if he found out I bought him something, he'd be like, why did you buy me anything, you know? And he would always pay for everything. So no, he didn't break up with me because he was a codo. I guess that would have been made me feel better, but no, he just broke up with me just because he was a dick.
So, but I'm not bringing it up to like save my image. I don't really care about that, guys. I'm just saying it because obviously, and for the girls that have gone through what Julissa, it's like you guys have, there's like half of the relationship is magical. Like, this guy's paying for me. He's such a sweetheart with my family. He gets along with my dad. But then, you know, the other half is like, wow, he's so toxic. He's a machista and stuff like that. So don't fall for others. I was a false Prince Charming, guys. During the day, I was a prince, and then at night, me convertí en Shrek y me ponía bien loco.
And plus, I feel like money has nothing to do, because if he wanted to, he would. If he wants to just pick a rose from the garden, he would bring it if you're broke, you know? It was just simply the toxicity was too much. But I think, I don't even know how to explain it, but we're in a much better place now. And we never want you guys to think that you have to stay in a toxic relationship, because you shouldn't. And I also don't want you guys to think that I just stayed because I was so weak and blah blah. I stayed also because I had the good days memorized. Like, our good days were good days, and that's why I stayed, because I was just so stuck on the guy that he can be, and I kind of didn't pay attention to the guy that he was.
Guys, just as there are these sweet high school stories, and they're so sweet and nice, there are more stories of when someone treated them like shit, and then there came the next guy, is what we want you to understand. That, you know, luckily God's will and God's purpose with us, it was to toughen up and then get together, you know. But easily for other people, like, we have friends where they dated someone for 5-6 years, and it prepared them mentally, physically for the next person that treated them like the best thing in the whole world, you know. So your story can go that way. Right now, you can't, no te imaginas la vida sin ese muchacho, sin esa muchacha, pero trust me, God just, like, have you seen the picture with he takes away the little teddy bear and he gives you a bigger one? That's some people's stories, guys. It wasn't ours, because, you know, that was God's plan. We can say éramos aferrados, but come on, through all the shit we went through, you know, God has a plan. And I feel like right now that we have a podcast and we're helping a lot of you guys, even if it's just 100 of you guys, but luckily it's 1,000, I think that's why we're here.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we were aferrados, but there's no way that just that would have gotten us to this place, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It was God's will, and you guys just have to step into that and realize that you don't have to stay where you are at. And if you break up with him, if it's meant to be, if God has him in your path, then you're gonna meet up again, just like we did. We broke up, didn't talk for 2 months, no communication, nothing, and then out of nowhere he called me. So you never know.
Okay, guys, on a lighter note, babe, you know what I was thinking yesterday?
What?
You know how I'm in asparagus? And you know,
Not the asparagus traits.
It's because I don't know how I feel about zodiac signs, astrology. I think, have I said this before? I think I've said it to you.
Yeah, you have.
I don't necessarily think. How do I say this without offending that big community? Okay, I don't necessarily think that's real in terms of like if you're born on April 23rd, blah blah blah. But I do think the universe, the energy, the day that moon was aligned and stuff like that. I do think because the moon affects the waves in the ocean. So if they can affect the waves, they can affect the frequency. And I do think there has to be some sort of thing with stars and energy and the time. Like the other day I saw this TikTok. If you're born in January, you're more likely to have Alzheimer's and all kinds of diseases because you had less light in the womb. See, that makes more understanding. In January, people, I don't know, what are they, Pisces?
No idea.
The fact that they have more, Alzheimer's could lead to the fact that they forget things, so they won't forget your birthday. Oh, you're a Pisces, you're not going to remember my birthday. See what I'm trying to go here with that? So I was thinking the other day, I was like, I've never met a Gemini girl, like actually met. Like we know people like Brampty, but imagine
My mom.
Your mom?
She was. Her birthday's the
but
day
like
before yours,
our age,
crackhead.
like our friend group.
No.
And but imagine like if I would have dated one, either one of us would be dead, in jail, or on the news. I think so, and I think that's why that shit doesn't happen. Cause I know a Gemini friend of mine. Boy, he was the same level of toxic as I was, and one of our friends commented it about if I'm still friends with him. Yes, I'm still friends with him, and he's changed a lot too. But boy, were we toxic, man. We were the toxic kings, and that's what I'm saying. We got along because we were boys, but imagine if I dated a girl that was or for you, if you dated a guy that was a Leo, because you're more emotional, and I'm
Then
sure
we would just be crying together every day.
But imagine for me, like what would have happened? We either become Bonnie and Clyde serial killers, or we kill each other. Isn't that weird?
That is very weird.
Like
Damn.
I don't really believe in that, but what I'm telling you is that like I think that there could have been some sort of energy and the time you're born. I don't know. Maybe I'm contradicting myself, but I was just thinking about that the other day.
Yeah, that's very crazy. I don't know how I feel about zodiac signs. I've never read into them that much, but to each their own, you know.
Yeah, I like to go with it. I think it's fun, but I don't think you should live your life. I don't think you should judge people based on that. Do I fit the perfect profile of a Gemini? Yes, I'm sorry, I do. But
I don't believe in it.
Yeah, that's a weird. Maybe I don't know. Next email.
I don't know. But with that being said, we're going to end this podcast with reading more emails that we're getting in. So let's go with this one.
Love you too. So without going too much into detail, basically I noticed my friend's husband was giving me a weird vibe, but didn't think anything of it because I thought, well, maybe it's just all in my head. Then one day we were all hanging out and got super drunk except for his wife, but she ended up leaving the house, so it was just us two and a couple other friends. Nothing happened that night, but then the next day he texted me and started saying all this stuff about his wife, aka my friend, saying that she's too cold when it comes to love and she doesn't know how to love him, and that if it continues that way, he's gonna leave her for someone that gives him attention. I didn't say anything to my friend and still don't know if I should, but he still flirts from time to time. What do I do?
Listen here, girl. I think this is a very, very easy answer. I don't know if it's just me. How are you going to call her your friend and not tell her what's going on? I would have screenshotted those messages and sent them straight to her right now. You know? What are you going to say?
No, I 100% agree.
I thought you were going to be like, no, well, if you think about it.
No, I think if I don't want to offend you that you send that email, but I think if you haven't done it yet, I think there's something there, or why aren't you doing it? I understand it's not to hurt your friend, but you put yourself in your friend's position. As much as it hurts, you would have wanted her to tell you. You know what I mean? And I don't think there should be a doubt. It should be like, I get that message, screenshot, send. If she's your friend, of course.
Yeah, you shouldn't overthink it, or you shouldn't be talking to him or doing anything like that. And especially, you shouldn't be letting him flirt with you or putting yourself in a position where you're with him alone, because you already know how he is. I think, I don't know what really is going inside your head, because inside of my head, the minute that he said something bad about my friend, I'd be like, dude, your man's just said this, do with it what you will, you know? But it's just a no-brainer, girl. Honestly, screenshot the messages and send it to her. Because listen, what if she finds out that you knew, or she finds those messages on his phone? Then you're gonna be the one made to look bad, and then you're gonna give the guy the option to be like, well, she was getting in my head and she was talking bad about you, so I started talking bad about you. This could all very much turn into your fault. So I would say better late than never. Screenshot the messages, send them to your friend, tell her everything, tell her you support her, whatever you need, I'm here, do with it what you want, and that's it. Clear yourself, clear your name out of the situation. I just don't know. I think that's common sense, but
look, if you already let this go on for days, for weeks, it might look a little sus. Your friend might be like, why didn't you tell me? Or do you feel something? So, si te quieres evitar el pedo, I would just make a fake Instagram, screenshot them, make sure his name appears with your messages, and then just send it to her. Be like, there's no way of denying that's not fake, and then he'll still get in trouble with you.
But it's kind of
weird because went by.
Right, maybe. But if she does a fake profile and all of that, and then he can also throw her under the bus, you know?
What?
Like because she'll be like, it was this fake account, be like, oh yeah, pues es tu amiguita, ¿cómo no le dices a tu amiguita, you know? Like, so I don't think you should incriminate yourself anymore. Yeah, just screenshot the messages and send them to her.
Don't send it, show her in person.
Yeah, show her in person. And tell her in person in detail. Don't miss any details, because if you miss a detail, it could easily be turned onto you, okay? We warned you, girl.
Dun, dun, dun.
Warning, my heart is broken. Hello, I wanted some advice, and I love y'all because y'all been through it all. We sure have. So I'm currently going through a breakup. It's been a month and a half, and I got on my laptop the other day, and I still had his email, and I saw he sent flowers to some girl that they've known each other for a while, and he gifted her flowers because she paid for the bill when they went out for drinks. And he said, I don't want a relationship with anyone, not even with me, nor the girl he sent flowers to. But like, why do I keep talking to him, and we are still friends? We dated on and off for 4 years and broke up officially a year, and then got back 1 year, and now we broke up. Like, what do you guys do? Why do guys do that? Send girls flowers and they say that they don't want anything with anyone but do that. Why, when I felt like I was finally getting over him, I see the email on him sending the girl flowers, and my heart breaks because he never did that for me. How can I move on? This is very easily
a ver.
Just stop, you know? First of all, look.
Just stop.
Just stop it right there. It's because this infuriates me, because you got on your computer, you saw that an email that said he sent the girl flowers, and he's never done that to you. So why are you still trying to like talk to him and be his friend when it's only hurting you even further? And now you're thinking like, he's never done that to me. He doesn't want a relationship, but he's sending her girlfriend flowers. He can send flowers to whoever he wants, and he doesn't have to date them. It can be a nice gesture. But I'm telling you that it's unhealthy for you to keep looking at the emails, for you to keep asking him, like, why did you send her flowers? You know, you're only pushing him even further away. And I think it never works to be friends with an ex, because you still you love that person. You know, I could never be friends with Jonathan if we broke up.
Okay, cool.
So I think this is easy. Just put yourself out of the situation, log out of the email, block him on everything, and yeah, no friend, nothing. Yeah,
guys, it's very hard to be friends with ex unless you're white, because white people do that shit. But
they're crazy.
But like, you, even if you're not with him, you haven't been with him for a year, te va a calar si ves que le compró flores, si ves que he has a new girlfriend in the friend group. Oh, bestie, how you been? No, like, te va a calar, obviously. So yeah, don't put yourself in that situation. That guy, if you're broken up, I know he didn't do it to you, but unfortunately he found someone that he loves more, or that he just, I don't know, now se le nació comprar flores. So, but that doesn't matter. You're gonna find someone else that will buy you a whole boutique.
Yes.
Jonathan,
preach.
why you haven't bought Julissa a boutique? Julissa doesn't like flowers. Okay, tell me.
I don't love flowers, but on Valentine's Day they're nice.
But anyways, you know what I mean. Like, don't fantasize. Don't get stuck on him. He has the right to buy people flowers. I'm sorry, you guys share emails, or did he use your card, or how are you getting that email?
But honestly, like, I just think in a fucked up way, he has no reason to respond to you, you know? Like, Why did you send her flowers? None of your business. We're not together. So I think, like Jonathan said, just get out of that situation. Stop putting yourself in bad situations where you're only going to get hurt, and just live your life, because God has somebody for you, okay? There's someone out there that is going to send you flowers, get you flowers every single day of the week. You never know. So stop trying to keep inserting yourself in a situation where you're not needed anymore. Just let him do whatever the hell he wants. Don't care about him no more. Move on.
Yes, very well said. Move on.
I know it's hard to do, but you got to do it. You can't just be stuck on this forever, you know?
Dear J&J, first off, I love you guys and we wish you both amazing things. Thank you very much. I really want advice on this from both of you and your different opinion if it's the same. I just turned 26 years old and my husband is 27 going on 28 this July. We met 3 years ago and go married pretty quick, so quick that my husband never told me he was a virgin. I definitely was not, but anywho, I sometimes don't believe him though. I've never seen or heard from any ex of his. I don't believe it because like how, right? And if it's true, I have a fear that since I'm the only one he's been with, he doesn't know that might secretly lust other women. And yes, how the fuck do I handle this jealousy because he seems like he doesn't get enough in bed. I'm not pregnant with our second baby and I'm now pregnant with our second baby and having bad thoughts about this marriage. Please help. Well, girl, this was all over the place, so bear with us a little bit. Your man's was a virgin until you guys met. Now he can't get over enough sex?
Yeah. So she didn't know that he was a virgin when they got married, and now she thinks that he can't get enough in bed, so she thinks that he's lusting other women.
I think this applies well to us guys because Blanca and I, we lost our virginity. There's no secret. We lost our virginity. Obviously, we were 15, 16.
I'm still a virgin.
So obviously, I think if your husband, you guys are obviously married, you guys have kids. Don't believe movies. Don't believe social media. I know movies tend to go out there and make men seem like these
horn dogs
that need different types of women, and we really don't, guys. For me, Blanca is more than enough. Okay, we spice it up. We spice things up. You have to try new things. You
just swerved me so hard, crackhead.
Learn about new things, and you just learn how to love each other differently. Okay, if it's the same in and out, fast, boom, get out, then don't talk. Then yeah, there's gonna be complications and you're gonna think he wants other women, blah blah blah. But if he married you and he stayed a virgin for that long, it's because maybe he honestly tried to wait. Or even if he's lying, I don't think, why would there be, obviously he knows you aren't, so why would he lie about him being,
Yeah, I think you are worrying and stressing yourself out over nothing yet, because you didn't say that it's facts that he's lusting other women. You haven't found messages on his phone. You haven't seen him cheating, nothing like that. So I think you're worrying too soon. I think you should worry when you need to worry. Say one day he's acting weird and he is texting other women. He has a friend at work, You're worrying too soon. And if you married him for a reason. So I don't think that there should be a reason you shouldn't believe him. You should think that he's lying, or you should think that you're not enough, or you're rethinking the marriage. You have to actually ask yourself, why do I feel this way? What is he doing that is making me feel this way? Or what am I doing that is making me feel this way? And just really dive into why you think you're thinking like that. Because if he hasn't actually told you hey, you're not enough, or hey, I want to try something, you're worrying too soon. You're overthinking and stressing yourself over something that hasn't been made a problem until it's been made a problem in your head. So I just think you should go with the flow and don't overthink your marriage if there's nothing to overthink yet. You should worry when he actually gives you physical evidence of something.
I completely agree with you, babe, except wait for it. I think you should sit down and communicate. Hey,
well, true.
Hey, are we good in bed still? Are you good? I know I've been noticing this. Talk about it. Honestly, me and Julissa have those talks. It's completely normal. So you just want to check in on your spouse before alguien más le mueva el tapete. You don't want to wait for that. That's dumb. You don't want to wait for proof of cheating. At least you want to be clear in your head that you have that conversation with your husband. He had it with you before that happens. Say he does cheat on your ball, but we had this talk, etc., etc. Why did you do this to me? And imagine if you didn't have that talk. Pues es que tú no haces nada, más te acuestas ahí, pareces Patrick the Star, nomás a tu bota. Why would you say that, dude? So you just have to communicate that way. If something does hit the road, does go south, then you have that at least to back you up. We had this talk. Why'd you still do this to me?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have to correct myself. I meant worry when you have to. Like if you have sit down and have the talk and he says something, then you start to worry, Don't worry right now when you haven't talked to him, haven't communicated nothing, because as corny as it sounds, communication is key and it is the only way you're going to get the answers that you want.
Unfortunately, you have to talk.
Unfortunately, you have to talk to your husband.
I don't just read her mind and know why she's mad at me.
Yeah. So I think, just talk to him. You guys are married. There's no reason why you shouldn't be having these deep talks. And
yeah, you have kids.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't get more intimate than that. I don't think.
Yeah.
So why should a talk about your sexuality be a little bit embarrassing? Like, yeah, it's a little embarrassing. Like, I have to ask you what to do. Like, no, that's why your partner's your partner.
Yeah.
If you want to make it till 75, you have to be like, hey, babe, am I throwing it down good? Like, what's going on? That's how 75-year-olds last that long. Okay.
Yeah, but I think that's it for today's advice, guys. Our email is philippinesjj@gmail.com. Send over your questions, emails, advice, anything that you need to that email, and
or jokes,
and we will read them once every month, I think. But for everything that you guys have been waiting for, Mr. Words of Wisdom.
Oof. All right, cue the music, Chai, because Chai's our editor. Okay, ready, guys? And bear here with me, okay? Because sometimes I like to talk fast, or I think before I speak. So I speak before I think. So therefore, by the time you hear something, the main message is behind it a little bit because it's moving slower. Okay? The past. Let's think of life as a straight line. Okay, you're right here in the middle. Your past is over here. Your future's over here, and this is the present. You're living in the present. If you think about it, the past doesn't exist. Think about that for a second, all right? Who is to say that the past happened? You can just walk outside, and that's the thing about society. We live because we trust of the past that happened. Oh, hold up, the message is getting there, babe, because you're looking at me a little bit weird. Let's just say we woke up tomorrow and we all came to agreement that we don't have jobs. And we just all go out tomorrow and we just don't do our jobs and we hit no, like the past doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Like, say you're a garbage man and you wake up tomorrow like, what did I do yesterday? Like, so that doesn't define who you are. And the future doesn't exist either because it hasn't happened. So what I'm trying to say, guys, last talk was more motivation physically. Go to the gym, eat healthy, treat yourself good. This is more mental, guys. If you're stuck in the past, because look, I heard this was super wise. The past causes depression. The future, thinking about the future, causes anxiety. And that's why the happiest people are the people that live day by day in the present, because that's what you can control, guys. And that's what you can do to set up a better future, is by living in the present, guys. You can't control the past. There's no time machines for right now. And even if the government comes up with none, he's not going to let you use it, all right? The past, what I'm trying to say, guys, technically it doesn't exist. And I'm talking about on a scale so small that you were on a diet and you ate those chips yesterday and you broke your diet after not eating chips for 3 months. You caved in, but you're that new person today. That past, those chips doesn't exist. As long as you do that you hold on for that diet today, that's all that matters, all right? So don't let the past define you. And then that's a small scale. Let's go from a big scale, a toxic, bad relationship. That was the past. Say that ex spit on you, treated you like shit, made you feel miserable. That's not you anymore, because that's the past. Technically, that doesn't exist. All right? It's not like you can watch a recording and go back to the past. What do you have from the past that makes it seem that it happened? You know what I mean? Unless you have a scar that, a shark bit you in the past, or you have videotapes, you have a recording of your whole life. It technically didn't happen. So don't let that past define who you are today. Every day, every time you wake up, nothing happened the day before. It's like that theory. How do we know there's nothing behind us? Okay, you can have a phone, but no, there's a phone looking at behind you. How do we know there's anything behind us, if that makes sense? It sounds so silly, like right now I'm seeing the background, but it's because that camera is there. Say nothing was there, no, Julissa was. How do I know there's something behind me? Technically there isn't, but what I'm trying to say, guys, there's nothing in the past. And now regarding the future, that creates anxiety, and we're the perfect example of this. How we've been going to therapy, it's because Julissa struggles with the past, how I treated her, and I struggle with the future, guys. I struggle with, will I be a millionaire? Will I help my family? Will I be successful? And that for me eats out more than the past, because I just don't really care about the past. She doesn't really care about the future, because she's like, I'm gonna spend my money today. And that's where we clash, guys. So what I'm trying to say is that past and future do not exist. Please, the happiest people, Bob Marley, everyone, they take it day by day, and that's how you're gonna be the happiest. All right, how does that saying go? Blah 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 blah. The present is a gift. That's why it's called a present. Okay.
Wow, babe, drop your mic right now.
No, I won't, because he'll break. But what I'm trying to say, guys, mentally, for all my people out there struggling, I know we struggle a lot with, the past and what happened. Don't let that define who you are, okay? Every day is a new slate. Whether we're in a simulation or not, whether that alien programmed you, because when we sleep, who knows what happens when we sleep? But that new day is you can be a different person each day of the week. Today, I'm gonna wake up as a rock star. Tomorrow, I feel like dressing like in the 80s. So don't let the past define who you are, okay, guys? For all those out there suffering from depression, mental illness, you feel like you're not good enough. Every day is different, and every day, as long as you're pushing towards your goals, the future will set up itself if you're in the present, guys. If the more you suffer in the future, you're not gonna do shit. Nothing's gonna happen. Every day, work with it, and I promise you guys, if you work hard enough every single day, your future will be successful, because this is just the domino effect. Did that make sense?
Wow, yeah, that was very inspiring, baby.
Anyways, guys, I hope you have a wonderful Friday. Go out there and get it. Please, we love you. Stay safe, stay warm, and
until next time, we'll see you on Friday.
Okay, and also comment down some names for the cow, because I like to refer to it, but I don't know what to call her. It looks like a her. She has horns, so it might be a guy. I'm thinking about Clarice, but I don't know. Thank you, guys. We love you. Bye.